good. Can I record this?
Of course you can. I look horrible, but go ahead.
Don't worry about looks. It's all about information. Looks don't matter when you got the right information, Pamela.
Right, absolutely. And I've got great news to share with you, by the way.
I'm ears.
So, any of your parents, I have got the Godzilla godmother of all fantastic righteous warriors for children who fight in our not so hallowed halls of justice, justice being sarcastic, Miss Wallace Pate. Okay, Miss Wallace Pate has written legislation, tried to put teeth into how CPS and family court is actually supposed to work versus how it does. She is disgusted with the spigot of money in the industry that has been built up around CPS and family court. She has decided not to retire and instead has opened herself up to SOC and any other advocate group through SOC and fight every last case we have.
Can we get her in on an interview?
We probably could. I'm going to reach out to her this weekend. She is celebrating her 40th 40th anniversary of graduating from law school. She is going to be having a workshop up here. I think it's going to be after the 13th. And what I want to do is maybe do a private Zoom. I'm going to pick your brain a little bit and see what you want to do about that. Maybe a private Zoom or a private Skype so that parents who can't be here in Sacramento will still get the very important information. And Rosie will be there as well, who's a fantastic warrior and has been helping parents through PAC in San Francisco. I haven't gotten a chance to meet her yet. But from what I understand, she's amazing. And so there's really good quality information, step-by-step guideline, what your rights actually are as a parent, what your children's rights are.
Right.
As children, they have every right to a lawyer, not a GAL, not a law guardian, an actual lawyer to represent their best interest, not the best interest of the state.
Well, my children's lawyers didn't do their job.
Probably because your children's lawyers were part of the swamp, as I call it. They're all swamp creatures, right?
Right.
Swamp monsters. So, which I even asked, can you even see me?
No.
Oh, I don't know why my camera, oh, duh. Maybe if I actually click that.
There you go. Hi.
There we go.
I keep looking down because I'm working and making
cute.
Right now.
Cute. I'll have to show you the new SOC Logan. Okay, so we've got Miss Wallace Pate. We've got a workshop. Let's you and I coordinate.
Yes.
So that all parents. I don't care what advocate group you are. SOC isn't about, oh no, it's got to be SOC and that's it. No, I'm a hub. Any information I have, I'm going to pass out to you guys. Anything we can do here for you guys or to support somebody else, let's do it.
Let's
Website,
do it. That's right.
For SOC, every vetted advocate group, because I'm coming across some advocate groups that are not advocate groups. They are CPS in disguise.
And there are other groups that will just take one side versus the other. So it's like fathers for rights versus mothers for rights. And we need to have this combination, not this battle of the sexes. That's just ridiculous. This has been going on for too long.
Right. And we've got USBF, United States Brotherhood of Fathers and Mothers. They've added moms. They're a parent alienation group. And these men and women are true warriors. They're fighting for the moms and dads who've really been bent over the barrel. Okay. They're going to be one of the advocate groups that are vetted. This incredible young man named Lyle is setting up a 4-staged website. One of the layers I have built for all of you, because I love the advocacy that you're doing. Everybody, you and I are both disabled, so we're limited as to what we can do. Other people are really great at research. Other people really get the law. Other people love to go out there with their signs and get public events. SOC has a home for you. So this website is going to be built into where you almost sign in like Facebook. So you can put your events up on a calendar If you're going to have one of your great parent talks on a Zoom, everyone from all over the nation will be able to come in and listen on that. If I'm
That'd
going to
be
be in
great.
a workshop, we can plug in so everybody gets the same information at the same time. So that's going to be a calendar for all advocates. If
Yeah.
somebody needs help, it's going to be a place for parents underneath that calendar to go, okay, I've got an ASAP question that needs to be answered. And any one of my pre-vetted advocates like you, like PAC, like USBF, can step up and say, this is my latest understanding. We'll also have a list of lawyers through this wonderful woman, Wallace Pate, 70 years old. Look her up. She lives in Beverly Hills, California. Of course she does. She's one of us. She's a real people.
Yay.
Been fighting this for 40 years, and she
Wow.
is disgusted. She knows the people on Capitol Hill. Our hope is through gathering you and I, Lyra, along with all the other great advocates, under a woman like Wallace Pate, we're going to be heard. So this is an important time for us to tighten up, shape up, kind of what you've been asking us to do this past month. Let's really find home what your message is. Let's really find home what your specific advocate group does.
Yeah.
So that we can be a resource for her.
Okay.
So she can reach out to any one of those groups and say, I need this group at this place so we can get this bill passed.
Yeah.
This mom needs protection, who can be there for her in this really hard situation. Sorry, I had a phone call. So I want her to feel like she is supported as much as we're going to feel supported by her.
Right.
Okay? If we've got legislative geeks out there, man, contact you or contact me. Happy to line you up and work with her.
Have you had any contact from Paul Guerva, I think is how you pronounce his last name? Guerva?
I don't think so. Who is that?
Well, he's one of the executors for the Family Rights Party here in California, and I'm trying to get you guys connected up because there's a lot going on right now with a lot of different people. I can't find my earrings, so I'm going to abandon my project and focus on you. Anyway. So we had a meeting on Sunday. The Family Rights Party did.
That's right. Okay.
And now we're still working out some of the kinks and making sure that we're going by proper procedure and, parliamentary procedure, which is Paul's
Robert's rules. You
right.
can go online for free.
Really? Okay. Yeah, that's Paul's forte. He's been studying it very closely to get us up to speed on how we conduct our meetings and stuff. I'm the one who's in charge of making sure people do their job. So it's like, because I have a lot of information that comes to me and a lot of inspiration that comes from that information, but I can't do it all. So this is why I was put in this role for the Family Rights Party. And this is kind of what I do for the Coalition for Protection as well. I can't remember laws. I can't bring them up automatically in my head and stuff, but I know somebody who can,
Right. Yeah.
But what I was thinking about and talking about, and I have been talking about for the past few days, is the hashtag Me Too.
Okay.
They're talking about sexual molestation of employees in the workforce and stuff. That's what the hashtag Me Too is about. Okay. Sexual provocation or molestation by your superior. Okay. And I think that it has an even broader scope of people that it should be addressing, because we're just starting with this employee versus employer paradigm, shall we call it, that just isn't working, and it's making women and employees, even men who've been grabbed on the ass, all that inappropriate behavior in the workplace. Well, we have a whole bunch of inappropriate behavior in foster care and adoption places. And we have adult foster children coming out now suing the foster home, suing the lawyers who put them into foster care or the adoptive home, suing those that have sexually molested and abused them and assaulted them. And so my feeling is that we can utilize the hashtag #MeToo, which has got nationwide audience already queued in, and we put those stories out there with that hashtag attached. And I think that we will start making some real progress just getting that part of the awareness out. There's so many different parts of awareness we need to be working on. That was just one that came to me this weekend as I was thinking about it, because it's like, you know, and then we could talk about so many other subjects, like the mass murder that happened just recently was because of a man who was an abuser of his woman and abused his child and still was able to get a gun. And, you know, they were
it wasn't legal. He didn't have that gun legally, and he had not been dishonorably discharged, but it wasn't an honorable discharge either. We need to have our military be more in line with our civil criminal system. So when they come out, that's something that's already on their darn record, not just on their government service record.
Well, and I believe there's even more that we could do for the veterans than is out there. Right now, there are independent groups all over the country. Like there's one in Oregon for fishing, where veterans for fishing go in groups and they go fishing, and it helps them cope with the PTSD from coming back from the war.
Now, I know a lot of people have been peeing all over Craig Sawyer. Okay. Let's make clear what Craig's duty is. Okay. He's on an awareness campaign, and he has taken slings and arrows for about the last 6 months, all summer long. People heard one thing and thought another. Okay. So I'm just going to clear it up right now. Okay. He's doing a 5-part docu-series that if we're lucky, we're going to be able to see it, because he's actually naming names. And a lot of his teams have been working with these, you've seen this story, 55 different county FBI went in and took down 125 pedophiles and rescued 87 people. It is played in, it's the exact same wording, every single article in all 55 counties. So it makes it sound like there's thousands of these working. No, it was an op that Craig Sawyer's guys did, and they brought in the FBI, and God forbid any kid from that particular county that got the SVU from FBI involved, now they got to act as though they were part of this great big sting. Okay, so let's make it very clear what's going on. What the MSM says, the Twitterverse, YouTube, which they're all just pundits, okay? Let's know the facts. This seems to be a real important bottom line within advocacy. A lot of people will yell and scream. I love the hashtag #MeToo. Hashtag noise was something that Wallace Pate came up with. She also wants hashtag lock them up.
Right.
CPS workers and family court evaluators, judges who lie, twist, and don't follow the law. Craig made it very clear to me early on. I cannot help you in these pedo hunts. There are actual people out there that are just dying to go and play cowboys and Indians and go on these pedo hunts. He never said that's what he was setting up. While he was setting up for this docuseries, enough money came in that he was able to assist a foundation called Vets for Kids, which is a lot like what you're talking about in Oregon. Right. Fantastic organization. SOC is going to uphold Vets for Kids. So when Miss Pamela's house is opened, 20 acres, 10 of it's going to be Miss Pamela's house, 10 acres going to be Vets for Kids. You get soldiers that need to heal right next door to children that need to heal. And that's about as organic and as pure as I can get it. Okay. These are the types of organizations we want to uphold.
Yes.
But it doesn't do us any good to start nitpicking at somebody for not doing something that somebody thought they heard or thought that's what they were supposed to do, which is why it's so important now for us to really tighten up and firm up what everyone's doing. Yes. Craig is happy to come out and give training, but it's not going to be for free. He's willing to give it to any advocate group who want to go out and really catch pedos and do pedo teams. He's happy to give them real world training, but you're going to have to pay for it and do the background check and have your own gun. And, it takes dedication. What you and I do takes our time. Our
Yes.
time is priceless because we're disabled.
Yes.
This is what we can do, and we live it and we breathe it 16
Yes.
hours a day. I don't think people realize this is in our ear, right? Almost 24/7. But that's what we can offer, is to exchange information, uphold one another, try and get a foundation set up so the people who can come in and do. So the peeing, whether it's Craig Sawyer, a big name like that, or whether it's someone doesn't like what another advocate group is doing. Instead, let's really know what those other advocate groups are bringing to the table. Maybe it's not important and forefront right now, but God only knows where it will be. Maybe towards the end of us, we're going to be, man, I wish we would have had that group. So it's important for us to all uphold one another. I uphold what you're doing and what so many other great organizations are doing. It takes less off my plate. I can breathe. I don't have to worry about how do I take on all of the problems of the world. Thank God I don't have to. I have you. I have Jeff Perry and Shane Downs right here. I've got PAC in San Francisco, and I'm probably a million more in California alone that I'm missing. We need to bring it all together.
Yes,
United, we win this thing, right?
That's right.
So if anything, I think people like you and I who are constantly talking to people need to put it out there. Find hone what your topic is, because those people usually have got decades of information on that one topic. Great. That saves me from spending 3 lifetimes I don't have.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out, I'm not a paralegal. Law isn't my background, but strategy, business, medical, counseling, therapy, I'm your gal. I can back you up on those things. But I'm not a lawyer. And people who do know the law also need to state, hey, I'm not a lawyer, but I know this is the process. I'm a constitutionalist. I know my Constitution. So through that, I can tell you all you want to know about your constitutional rights, which, as you and I know, does nothing in family court or CPS because they don't operate by our Constitution. They operate under the color of the law. So,
well, and that's one of those things I think that I try to address in the booklets that I'm putting out. I don't know.
I love that. Yeah.
You looked at that a little bit?
Yes. And I was very impressed, by the way. I like that. But I think, like what you and I were talking about, we need to have a, not simplified, that's so the wrong term, but something that's easy, digestible, because people are busy. They don't have time to spend 16 hours a day learning about the Constitution.
Right.
So I think a basic 1, 2, 3-step workshop on your basic constitutional rights would benefit. And we had talked about that last time. And I was able to make that one meeting. Your booklet, so helpful on procedural, step by step, what to expect. I love it. If anything, I think you went a little light, but again, people are busy. You don't, how much time do they have to actually read? So
exactly. That's why I put it in such simple terms and consecutively saying, okay, this is what your state says. This is what our Constitution says. There's more than just the Constitution. There's the Bill of Rights that you need to look at. But I'm going to just show you some things that are going to protect your parental rights right here and now. And then your rights as a disabled person are equally important, and people will try to railroad over all the disabled people all the time, and we have to stop that. We have to stop it.
I've got 2 clients, one in, of all places, Needles, California, which is like just a hair's breadth away from Arizona.
Wow.
Took all 5 of her children away because she has a heart defect. She was born with it. That's like punishing someone for coming down with cancer.
That's
or someone
not
born
right.
with diabetes. You're not allowed to be a parent because you have diabetes. If you were to say that to anybody at work, your neighbors, they would look at you and think you've got lobsters crawling out of your ears, right? But it's really that dumb.
It is.
The public is slowly waking up to there really isn't more to this story. Now they're at that, well, this is just the few sad cases of an innocent person being harmed. All right, fine. Let's take that one sentence past that rationale, okay? Just one sentence. Even if there's one family being disserved by a multi-trillion-dollar-a-year business, all together, from the courts to the lawyers to the CPS to the incentives to the state. I could go on and on.
Yeah.
Medical,
Right?
trillions of dollars a year
Pharmaceutical.
in this nation's economy out of your paycheck, my paycheck. Even on disability, they still charge us taxes
I know.
that we're paying to these people just so they can have a job.
Yeah.
So one innocent man is put to death in a gas chamber or by lethal injection. That's one man too many. So the exact same thing applies to CPS. Even one family harmed by an entity that we pay for, it's our servant, not the other way around.
Exactly.
It's one family too many.
Yes. Yeah,
So,
and the thing, the big thing that I experienced when I first started going through this, and I was completely discombobulated and did not understand how to defend myself for one instant, and nobody came to help. But what I realized was that these people targeted me because I was the weakest link. And it didn't matter that my ex-husband was testing positive all the time for drugs. They tested me more times for using medicine to cope with my disabilities.
So 388 is now your voice, and they want to see everything in your life as a nail and they're the hammer. Well, guess what? We're going to turn the tables. 388 makes them the nail and you become the hammer. And unless they've truly taken a child out for true abuse, and I think everybody between you and I and anyone who will ever watch this, we all understand true neglect, true abuse, not this BS that they're pulling. 7 to 10% of the cases in California are true neglect, abuse, what you and I would consider a horrendous situation for a child to be in. Absolutely, someone needs to step in. That leaves 87 to 90% of children being taken out of their homes, not for neglect or abuse.
For nothing, for money. Yeah.
Okay, and they are going to go over middle to lower socioeconomic families.
Yep.
Hope to God all you've got is maybe a trade and some high school education, because therefore you're dumb. You're not going to get it. You can't afford to hire an attorney, so you're stuck with one of their county councils. So you can ride the 13-month 6 CPS merry-go-round or family court go-round until they have gotten every dime they can out of you and your children and the situation, and then they're gracious enough to give them back to you. Because believe it or not, in California, those children are not our children. The state owns every single one of us. They're just nice enough to let us feed, clothe, house until such a time they feel we're not doing a good job, and then they come in and take these kids, which is why
that's not right, because I mean, you know, it's like in my situation, my children weren't even born in this state. How could they be owned in this state?
They're owned by each state that they're born in. And most people don't get that under admiralty law. It's disgusting. How can a state own you?
Right. No, they can't.
It's disgusting.
It's not possible. Actually, because the state governments are part of the corporation that is the United States of America, they cannot own anybody. And, you know, people are being misled to think otherwise. So, you know, like in my situation, I don't know if I could file a 388 at this point because of it being.
Are you past DESPO, or you past? You've obviously had jurisdiction, right?
No, I don't have jurisdiction. I don't have anything. They removed my parental rights 2 years ago, even though I stood up in court and looked at the judge and said, denying these children the contact with each other and their mother is a crime.
Did they adopt them out?
2 of them are in adoption right now. This is 2 years have passed. I put in an appeal. I was denied my appeal flatly. The Supreme Court of California didn't give any reason for their denial of my habeas corpus or my petition to request for administrative review, even despite the fact that I provided all the information that they needed to show that there was
no reason for them to be adopting out these children.
Yeah. Right. And it didn't matter because the truth of the matter is the Supreme Court only looks at 5% of the cases of appeal. They may or may not rule in the parent's favor.
Do you still have the ability to have a civil rights case?
Yes, because on federal, and actually I'm in a national, class action. I signed up for that last year. So.
And that class action is for parents who had their children wrongfully taken and adopted?
It's what it is the class action is specifically addressing the misuse and misappropriation of federal funds to remove and detain my children from me.
Do you have the attorney that's doing that class action?
Her name, Mary Carol Ball, is one of the ladies that is in charge of it. It's in, I forget if it was New Hampshire or it's on the East Coast.
Okay. I will look it up and get Miss Pate on that. She has 2 new class actions that Miss Pate's going to be doing that many that will be watching this can reach out and contact you or I with. And a lot of this, I'm not being cagey for a reason. I'm being careful with information that's going to help a lot of families. We don't need to give CPS a heads up on what we're doing, other than we are coming for you.
Yeah.
They can feel it, and they know. When I now have in Sacramento a social worker that has been thrown into county jail over a retaliatory case.
Wow, good.
And her butt is still sitting there.
Wonderful. How long has she been in there?
At least, I want to say it's been at least 3 weeks, almost 4. May she sit there a little bit longer and think about what she did, because this mother has not seen her 3-year-old child in 6 months.
Wow.
She was railroaded because as a mandated reporter, she did her job of children who truly were being abused. And this caseworker was not doing her job as a social worker. And she came after that licensed personnel and took her children away based on nothing. She hasn't seen her eldest child in 2 years, and she hasn't seen her 3-year-old now in 6 months. It cost her $4,000 a month to see her children. Who can afford that? Oh my God. Even if I stopped eating,
yeah,
and lived in a tent somewhere in somebody's backyard, how in the heck do you do $4,000 a month in visitation? That's for 2 hours, twice a week for each kid. And then she said, even if I just did 1 and did $2,000 a month, which maybe you could scrape together, which child do you choose?
Yeah.
I mean, this is like the sick psyop crap that they do. So I don't want to give them an inkling of what it is that we're doing. I've got a couple in San Francisco that are homeless due to CPS, and they are desperately trying to hang on to those kids and adopt them out because they know now they've made that couple homeless, and they're in San Francisco, the most expensive city in California to live, as far as I'm concerned, unless you're in Beverly Hills or Pacific Palisades. You know, it's pretty darn expensive, even to be a roommate. And with the job market the way it is, unless we move jurisdiction, how on earth do they have a chance?
Yeah.
So I think they ramrod and they target people that they know are easy targets. You're disabled. You just moved here so you get medical care for your children, and you're living in temporary housing. We've got you. Yeah. Oh, you think you're hot stuff because you're a mandatory reporter. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and do a retaliatory case and wind you up so that you don't get to see your kids for a couple of years. This is the kind of thing that's going on, and it must be stopped.
Yes.
And the only way it's going to stop is if we unite.
Yes.
Loose lips sink ship, right? And have a game plan in not just one area, but in several areas. I want us to be able to hit them as hard as we possibly can from every avenue until they're literally on their knees, showing us their belly going, okay, I give up.
Well, and so you and I are in agreement with the whole belief that we need to be attacking this monster from all angles at the same time.
Absolutely.
There are people out there who are saying, no, we just need to. And I'm looking at them and I'm saying, how's that going to work?
Well, but you know what? We need them to attack from where they can attack from, and from a place of knowledge.
Yeah.
Place of expertise. Okay. Every single one of you are a arrow in a
Yeah.
quiver. Okay. Every single one of us. If you all read Psalm 64, okay, we've all been black and blued. We've all got the bloody lip. We kind of look like Rocky, just the last 2 rounds, right? Okay. Well, guess what? Our second win just hit. We're getting united. We're getting educated. Each and every advocate group has something to bring to the table.
Absolutely.
No one of them is less or more than the one right next to it. And this whole being myopic and we just have to focus on this or just focus on that, we've done 10 years of that. It's not working.
No.
It's not working. It's all of us coming together and hitting this thing so hard that all they can do is lay on their back and ask for help.
Yeah.
And at that point, we say, we want this and this and this repealed, and we want laws for those people who hurt families intentionally for money.
Mm-hmm.
We want teeth built into this law.
Yeah.
No more immunity, no more working with impunity. I don't care if you are a social worker or you're just doing what you're told, what I call the Nuremberg defense.
Mm-hmm.
For the Nazis, it shouldn't work for CPS or family court workers. Anybody